further into the spring, hell, almost summertime if you're being honest. I mean, the sun is up. You can see my beautiful face this morning, so it's a bonus, right? Today we're going to be talking about two of the biggest stories that are going on in the country right now. That is the Apple River stabbing and the Wallgreens Seattle security guard viral. That private security guards can learn from both of these events. Now, that being said, anybody who's watching this video, whether you're in the private security community or you're just an average person, this takeaway is also very important to you. Guys, listen, in both of those situations, there are a few factors that are very common threads that run between both of those instances. Number one, it's people interacting with each other, right? People interacting with each other, but more importantly and more specifically, people just not having a baseline level of respect, a baseline level of compassion, understanding, all of those small little things that we don't want to do that ultimately have led to people losing their jobs in the Seattle situation, and unfortunately people being harmed and losing their life in that Apple River situation. What's another common thread between both of those things? Cell phone footage. The cell phone footage of the interaction between the security guard and the subject is going to lead to a huge lawsuit. A lawsuit against Wallgreens, a lawsuit against the security company. I don't believe that there's going to be any fallout in terms of financial culpability for the guard that's involved, but clearly this guy's name is out there. His potential employment in private security moving forward, it's not looking too good. The cell phone footage in the Apple River situation is going to lead to a conviction. The guy that's involved in that stabbing, he allegedly, by all accounts, when was apprehended by the police, he gave a completely different story than what happened. In fact, he didn't say anything about being involved in the stabbing. It looks as though he may have allegedly had gotten rid of the actual weapon. So in both of these situations, the statements from the perpetrator of the stabbing, the statements from the security guard, they don't align with what's on the video. Now, where does this all come into private security? Guys, listen, there's cameras everywhere. Aside from the fact that we should be doing the right thing, that we should be acting, with proper morals, proper ethics, that we should be doing things that are within the policies and the post orders where we're working, you have to also be aware that everything is being recorded pretty much at all times. Take people's individual cell phones out of the equation. Where you work, you're being recorded. Any place that you're, potentially involved with people, you're being recorded. The time of people not being honest, the time of people not being ethical, the time of people not being held accountable, those days are over. Guys, there's too many cameras that are out there, too many people that are filming things. You're going to have to own up to your mistakes, own up to the issues that you've potentially created for yourself, and just have some accountability, because the transparency is there whether you want it to be or not. I personally feel like, you should have integrity, you should be a good person, you should be an honest person, but everybody doesn't operate like that. So the benefit of society that we have right now, and a double-edged sword for a lot of people, is that transparency is there whether you like it or not. If you're a security guard and you have interactions with people, you have to be making literal reports based on what happened. I put up a question in my community tab the other day. I said, if you were to interact with a subject and you knew that you had made a mistake, should you apologize? And it was about 50-50. Some people were like, no, because if you apologize, you're pretty much admitting that you did something wrong and you're going to have to suffer the consequences. Guys, the alternative is way worse. The alternative of not admitting that you made a mistake, being humble enough to say, hey, I'm sorry, like I stepped out of line here. I shouldn't have said this. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have approached you. And then making that report to your supervisor. The other side of that equation is to not do anything and then let the situation like what happened in Seattle happen. I don't know if you guys are aware, but that security guard, apparently and allegedly, he did not make a report to his supervisor, did not make a report to the contractor. So when all this stuff blows up and the subject that was approached reaches out to Wallgreens, they had no idea what had even happened. It's really hard for companies to defend us and back us if they don't even know that we were involved in the situation. So, you know, a great lesson to be learned is to be transparent in both of these situations. That guy involved in the Apple River stabbing, his defense is that he was acting in self-defense. Well, it's a lot easier to explain yourself in terms of you acting in self-defense when you're not allegedly getting rid of the weapon, when you're not allegedly, you know, omitting the fact that you were even involved in a stabbing. It's a lot easier for the police, for counsel, for anyone to kind of back your claims of self-defense, as opposed to when you omit things or lie via omission and there's actually a video out there. All right. So I would say very, very important. Another common thread, another common theme, and this kind of goes back to the first thing, is just having common decency. Just having common decency. There's another video that came out this morning. One of my subscribers who lives in Philadelphia, he sent me a link to it, man, probably around 1 o'clock this morning. And it's of a guy who I believe was previously trespassed. He comes into a convenience store, and right as he walks in, the security guard, I guess he like recognizes him. He stops the guy. He pushes the guy in the chest up against the door. The guy immediately pulls a firearm, and apparently there's an exchange of gunfire. Security guard kills the subject. All right. Now, I don't know the backstory of that. I don't know like the history between those two people. But again, you're seeing a situation, and I'm saying this with all due respect because I have no background of what led up to that. I'm just looking at what I'm seeing on camera. And I'm seeing the security guard approach a guy, and right as he comes in the door, he pushes him up against the door, and now two guns are being drawn. This lack of ability to just have a little bit of patience with people. It's hard. Working at the location where I work, I deal with the same people over and over again. Now, when I say that, some of the same people are literally the same people, but my point is that I deal with the same type of person every single day. I deal with a homeless, drug addicted, mentally ill person that is either shoplifting, doing drugs, urinating, defecating, vomiting, sleeping, vandalizing. Like, these are the things that I deal with on a daily basis. It's hard to go to work every single day and try to put on a positive face, positive front, de-escalate, be patient. Like, I get it. You're not going to get any pushback from me, no pun intended. You're not going to get any pushback from me that is not difficult and that it's not aggravating and that you don't get tired of it. Sometimes you just want to tell people, like, get the fuck out of here. Go somewhere else. Go on your goddamn way. Sometimes you want to be like that. It's hard to stand there and have people talk to you a certain way or talk down to you or ridicule you. I get it. Guys, you're not talking to somebody who hasn't been there. I'm there. I'm with you. I understand how frustrating this job can be. I understand how frustrating what we do in general can be. I understand all of it. I understand the underlying dynamics of the fact that maybe your family, your friends, society does not appreciate what you do and what you bring to the table. That no one looks at your industry like it matters or means anything. I get it. You still have to go to work, and you still have to be the person that is operating with restraint, compassion, empathy, patience. You got to be that guy. I say a prayer every single day when I get to work. I'm not here to bash you guys over the head with religion. I'm not here to say that you have to be religious or spiritual or Christian or anything. But I am telling you that every single day, as I'm driving to work, as I'm pulling into my post, I'm thinking to myself and I'm talking to God. I'm saying, God, please give me patience today. Give me patience to deal with whatever I have to deal with. Give me enough patience to take time to think about the actions before I move. Give me enough patience to not overreact or respond in a way that I'm going to have to answer for down the road. Give me discernment. Give me the ability to look at a situation critically and make the right decision, not just for me, but for the contractor, for the company that I work for the industry that I'm in, for the people that follow me. Give me discernment to make the right decision. Give me empathy for the person that's going through something that I will never have to deal with, that I will never understand, even though it's a problem, even though it's bringing an issue to me that I shouldn't have to deal with. Give me a little empathy to be able to handle that in the right way. And the last thing that I say is that, God, if you put me in a situation today where I have to respond, make me swift, make me quick, make me extremely accurate. Both sides of that equation, you're putting yourself in a mindset of approaching your situations from a proper position, while also understanding that your job still has to be done and that shit might walk through your door. And if it does, you're going to handle it. Guys, I'm never telling you from a position of de-escalation, a position of understanding, a position of patience. I'm never telling you to go out there in your job and be a bitch. I'm not saying that. There's no bitches over here. Just want you guys to think before you respond. And if you have to respond, respond accordingly. Be very aware of cameras. Be very aware of the perception of what we do and what we say. Make sure that you're within your post orders, you're within the scope of what you're doing. Take a deep breath and give yourself a little bit of time before you make these decisions. Both of these situations, man, people rushed in. The Apple River guy, he rushes in. He gets too close. The people that he ends up stabbing, they rush into him. They get too close. The security guard in Seattle, he wants to make this non-policy stop. He rushes in. He gets too close. All of these things have led to the repercussions on both sides of those equations. Just a little bit of patience, guys. And both of those situations could have been avoided. Lives could have been saved. Jobs could have been saved. Money could have been saved. And now we're talking about it, so you guys have the opportunity to make the right choices, okay? Y'all go out there today. You be safe. You watch your back. You watch your six. You do your absolute best to uplift yourself, uplift your company, and uplift the industry of security. You guys fucking matter, all right? Have a great day.